So why do I keep screaming refuel and recharge? My name is RJ Hodges, and maybe you're here because you liked the post that I posted somewhere on social media. Maybe you even follow me on a social media platform, or you've never heard of me. You don't know who I am. You've never seen my face before in your life. Either way, stick around because I want to take this video to give you the backstory of not only who I am, but why this course is important, why this mantra is important, and why I feel right now that if you relate to this, it's probably something that you need to start working on. Born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. Around the age of 18, I got started in my first business, right? Did I say what I do? I'm a personal and business development coach. I'm a best-selling author. Around 18, I got started in my very first business. It was a sales business. I'm young, obviously. I don't know what I'm doing, but this business at some point required me to get in front of a room. It required me to be in front of people, and I fell in love. I fell in love with telling people who I am and telling people some of the things that I've been through, even at 18, that would allow them to get a different perspective. It may give them some encouragement, and I could start to see that something I said gave these people their next breath. It's kind of like if you're running a race, right? And you know how you get to that point where you're kind of at the end and you're exasperated, but something gives you that second win. At 18, I learned that I could give somebody a second win, and it changed my life. It's all I wanted to do from that point was to inspire, encourage, and that eventually turned into coaching because I started to understand, for me, just inspiring and encouraging people wasn't enough. I wanted to teach them something. I had been through a lot in my life. My father passed away when I was just 7 years old. I was raised by a single parent mom. We'll get into that and why that's important for the course as well. But just some of the things that I had been through, I found myself sharing with other people, and it was working not only for me because of the strategies and the things that I was learning, but it was starting to work for other people. So I became a coach. And I always said I was a business and personal development coach because I thought the two went hand in hand. But for a while, my coaching was more so business dominant, right? Because everybody want to build a business, right? Everybody want to build a business. I had a course called From Employee to Entrepreneur at one point. People love that. They want to build a business. What I finally realized, I want to drink my coffee, but it's a little hot. So what I finally realized as I was helping people to start and build businesses and transition from employee to entrepreneur, I started to see that what I was really spending more time on in one-on-one coaching was their personal issues, their doubt, their fear, their being tired, their being overwhelmed, them being mentally exhausted, worried, frustrated, stressed out. I was spending more time on those things. And then it finally clicked to me. It's like, I'm building the business. What do I mean by that? Because you're the business. What did Jay-Z said? I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. You're the business. Because I always say that your business, this external thing, this company that you're working on, it's only going to go and grow to the level that you're willing to go and grow yourself. So I started to see as a coach, I'm working on this person. If I can help this person work on these things from the inside out, these stressful things, these things that are causing them to second guess the business, that is causing them to not have enough energy to even work the business. And I started to see a trend. I started to see that most of my clients, not only were they entrepreneurs like myself, but they were also working moms. I had to pause right there because I didn't understand that in the beginning of how tied in it was to my story. And everything that I've ever talked about, if you go on social media and find any video, any post, everything that I ever talked about, it's been from me. It's something I've lived. It's something I've gone through. It's something I've dealt with. It's something I've fought through, cried through, prayed through, all of that, right? And I noticed that we attract where we are. We attract from our vibrational standpoint. So most of my one-on-one clients were working mothers, some single mothers, some not, but all working professional mothers or mothers with businesses. And I noticed how difficult it was for them. Not just building that business, but being able to take care of themselves and then go home and properly raise a child and cook dinner and do homework. And I was just like, wow. And I felt so familiar with their story. And I know you're probably saying, but how? You're a man, so you're not a mom, obviously. How would you know or relate to their stories? And I said, oh man, look how God works. Because God, in my experience, has only put me in positions to work with people that he knows that I'm not talking at you, I'm talking to you because I am you in some form or fashion. So I thought about it. I was like, wow, I know that face when I was working with clients. I know those words. They're very familiar to me because I realized I was raised by a single parent working mom. Yeah, my dad passed away when I was very young, and I started to now recall the stress that my mom went through because my mom was always working. You know, you're a single parent and you're a mom. Moms believe in taking the utmost care of their kids no matter what, right? So my mom was always working. She was always doing something to provide for me and to make sure that there was no voids in my life. But that came with a price for her because I often saw her stressed out. I often saw her overwhelmed. I often saw her mentally exhausted, right? But, you know, back then, there were no real strategies. And unfortunately, you know, back then, Black people, we didn't go to therapy like that back then. We do now, and I'm a huge proponent of therapy. The only thing you did back then was you just kept going and you kept pushing. About 3 months after my 20th birthday, my mom passed away. Probably one of the most devastating things to date that I've ever just had to deal with. While I cannot prove, and I say this often, I cannot prove that the stress and being overwhelmed and mentally exhausted and always on the go and never stopping and making sure that I'm good and never really taking the time to take care of herself. While I can't prove that caused the disease in her body, I know it didn't help. As I thought about this, as I'm doing personal development coaching with clients, I thought about this and I said, wow. And then I became the same person because later on, her only son, who she, by the way, saw me start my first business at 18, was one of my biggest supporters, one of my first customers. I love that lady for that. Later on, after her death, I became a full-time entrepreneur, right? And I was exhibiting those same traits. I'm always giving to other people. I'm always there for somebody else. I'm always building my business. I can't stop. I won't stop. I'm motivated. But on the inside, I'm breaking down because I'm stressed. I'm overwhelmed. And then I started noticing that I needed to do something different personally as an entrepreneur at that time. I was coaching, but inwardly, I was pouring it all into my clients. I wasn't protecting and replenishing my energy. And I went on this journey and I started to learn these strategies. I learned how to meditate. I didn't know what meditation was, to be perfectly honest, back then. I thought meditation was something religious. I thought it was something that only a few people knew how to do and it wasn't something for everybody. All of those are myths. So every myth you've heard about meditation, I'm going to debunk that at some point if you stay either on this page, whether you're watching this on YouTube, whether you've been invited into our Refuel and Recharge group, or even if you decide to check out the course that I've created. I am going to debunk those myths, I promise you. But I learned meditation. I learned strategies on how to protect and replenish my energy. I learned how to interrupt negative thoughts. I learned how to change and reprogram my mind. I learned how to put myself in a better position. And then I started to understand that success in life, that thing that we're really wanting to accomplish, it comes from the inside out, not from the outside in. Because even if you manage to get all of these accolades and you're the top person at your job, or you built this business that amassed X amount of dollars per month, none of that external success matters if internally you're depleted, if internally you're drained, if internally you're tired, if internally you're uninspired and unmotivated. None of that stuff matters anymore. So that's why I'm screaming refuel and recharge. And that's where this course comes from. It comes from a kid that was raised by a single parent working mom, being able to see the stress and the frustrations that come along with that, but more importantly, being able to see the sacrifice. And it also comes from the man today who became an entrepreneur and can see the sacrifice that's there. And over time, I perfected some very simple strategies. But what I perfected in these very simple strategies is a way for you to do those things and set up a system in your life so that you're not sacrificing yourself in the process. Y'all gotta hear that. So that you're not sacrificing you in the process. And I know for a mom, a lot of times that's the mindset. I sacrifice everything about me for my kids. As an entrepreneur, I sacrifice everything about me for my business. Had my mom just taken some time back then and said, look, baby, mama going on vacation. Or look, baby, mama can't do it today. Mama got to do this. If she had done that and that would have added another year, another 15 minutes, another 2 hours to her life for me to spend with her, I would have gladly said yes. And your kids will too. On this page, if you're on the Refuel and Recharge page, the group, on this page, I'll be posting certain things about how to refuel and recharge, keeping you guys inspired, sharing little tips. But I also want you to post, where are you? Because at the end of the day, I understand that what I'm asking you to do, it's some things that you're going to have to put into your daily routine. But I want to let you know that there's other people that are out there that are tired of being tired of being frustrated, tired of being overwhelmed, tired of feeling drained and depleted. And we like, no more. We're going to take care of us. Watch this, so that we can take care of the other people. On top of all of that, I took all of these things that I started teaching to clients in personal development, that I worked on myself, that I implemented in my own life. I started teaching all of these things, and I finally put them into a course. There is actually an entire course called Refuel and Recharge, 3 strategies to protect and replenish your energy. It's so much in this course. There's a link somewhere, either it's in the description below, or there is a link somewhere on this page. Go to that link. There's another video there. It's a lot shorter than this video, but there's a video there that breaks down the entire course. But the course teaches you how to protect and replenish your energy, when to put up the boundaries, how to structure those boundaries in your life, how to meditate, how to take as little as 5 minutes per day to learn how to quiet your mind, to learn how to put yourself in a place of peace, especially in chaotic situations, to learn how to be in control of your life again. If you're not in control of your life, then you live your life as if life has kind of wrapped this imaginary rope around you and it's just pulling you everywhere. It's just pulling you. Gotta do this. I gotta do this. Just pulling you. And you can only be pulled for so long. Whoever in your life that depends on you, think about this. If you break down, what happens to them, right? Because if we're not at our highest level, then we are no good, not only to the people that we love, we're no good to the business, we're no good to anything else. And guess what? That produces low production in business. That produces not being the best mom, by not taking care of yourself. So let's take care of ourselves. Let's refuel and recharge. If you have any questions for me, shoot me a message. You can find me at RJ Hodges Speaks on all social media platforms. Feel free to reach out, join this group, share this group, because we all know a working mom and we all know an entrepreneur that's stressed out, tired, overwhelmed, frustrated, mentally exhausted, that needs to do something different before it's too late.